The power of silence. If you want to be successful and rich, start with silence. Wise people always know how to hone their bravery from silence to stillness. The most beautiful sound in the world is sometimes silence. Like calm water. When people reach the realm of wisdom, they will always know how great the use of silence is. The more experienced, the more mature, the more I like to live in silence. 1. Mature people usually don't talk much. Tao Te Ching says, "Those who know do not say, those who say do not know." Wise people never talk much, on the contrary, the more ignorant people like to brag. The more they like to brag. When Zhenguofan studied at the academy, he encountered a difficult friend who always confronted and cursed him. While Tang Quoc Phien was studying by the window, his friend scolded him, "Don't read books here, it affects my light." So Tang Quoc Phien had to step aside to read a book. But in the evening, the other friend's attitude became even worse. He satirized Zhenguofan's hard work as being fake, affecting the rest of others. Tang Quoc Phien still said nothing, choosing to lie on the bed and study silently. On the day he looked at the list of names on the board. Because his name was not there, he continued to quip that all his good feng shui was taken over by Zheng Quoc-fan. There is an ancient saying, "Good people don't compete, people who compete won't be good." Truly kind people never argue about useless things, people who often like to fight are unkind people. As a smart person, you should know the right time to speak. Silence is also considered a type of wisdom. 2. The older a person becomes, the quieter he becomes. As the saying goes, the ripe rice bows its head, the humble person speaks little. Ripe rice always lowers its head. Mature. Humble people often say little, never expressing themselves or gossiping about others. Lu Xiang, a successful and famous athlete, retired twice due to leg injuries. In the face of other people's disputes and accusations, he never argued back. Even when public opinion reached its peak, forcing him to fall into the abyss, he still never blamed others. In his mind, he always thought, Lu Tuong is just Lu Xiang. Not the Lu Xiang that others think. Over time, someone finally stood up to defend him, claiming that he had won 48 matches and won the championship 36 times, but people only remembered those 2 times he withdrew. Thanks to this statement, public opinion revived again, but this time netizens followed the trend of apologizing for insulting him. They say they were wrong, they hope you forgive them. Before this action, Lu Tuong remained silent and did not discuss anything. Because after retiring, he found a new, better life, and he feels comfortable about it. Just like in the book Hoanin 2. Instructions for Humanity once said, 1,000 words are not as good as silence. The world slanders, humiliates, and laughs, so what? Leave it alone, see what it looks like a few years later. Silence is not only a way to practice patience in each person, but also a melody of maturity. People who live quietly are sometimes not the introverted type, but because they want to put their soul into the wider ocean. 3. Silence is the beginning of growth. If you want to cultivate yourself, rely on what your heart tells you. Being careful with your words is the first step. Train yourself every day to have a way of dealing with people that is appropriate to the situation. And be careful in all words and actions. In many cases, instead of wasting time arguing, it's better to quiet your heart, accumulate strength in silence and wait for the opportunity to come. In Mac 2, there is a story like this, when Toucam asked for advice from his teacher about, is there any benefit to talking a lot? Mac 2 replied, the toad makes a loud noise. The flies buzz endlessly, but no one wants to listen. The rooster keeps silent until dawn, and can make people all over the world wakes up together. Everything has its own effect. And silence is sometimes more powerful than noise. In the spring and autumn period, King So Trang had just begun to rule the government. He did not issue orders for 3 years. Some ministers persuaded him by saying metaphorically, Why did the bird not fly or make a sound for 3 years? King So Trang replied, if it doesn't fly, it's to grow wings. It doesn't cry, it's because it's observing. Right now it doesn't fly. But once it does, it will definitely make people admire it. Sure enough, half a year later, King So Trang personally took care of the court's affairs, eliminating traitors and promoting talented and virtuous mandarins. Since then, the state of Zhou quickly rose to become one of the 5 hegemonic states. Talented people are often secretive. Quafu silently pursued the sun, eventually using his body to nourish everything in the world. The bird, without complaining, eventually flies far away. A drop of water flowing in silence can also cause flowing water to wear away stones. Being quiet is a way to empower yourself and is the key for people who want to do great things. Gain experience in silence instead of using words to bring down others. The highest strength always comes from silent efforts.
Life Lessons channel. Thank you for watching the video.